Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review for Halloween month, as we're nearing the end here now. Because it's funny, like after so many rants I did, I had more rants than positive reviews, you know. But I said, it was not my intention, believe me. But, ending on this year on a more positive, which I have one more after this, which is positive as well, so. But I wanted to end, I don't want to end on a bad note, but I wanted to end on a good note, so. So, reviewing another film that came out this year, which originally I was sketchy on because I've seen so many of these type of movies before. What else they can do anything different, right? Now, granted, though, some of the things like I said we have seen before, though, but overall, I was actually surprised by. You know, it came out earlier this year, and almost midway through the year, though, but I really enjoyed it. I really did, because I think the film made the film work because of actor Russell Crowe. So, and I would probably say it's the best horror film I say the best horror film I've seen this year. I could probably say, you know. And the film it was mixed though, but I think it was I really liked it. I did. So I wouldn't lie if I said, oh, I didn't like it though, but. So the film I'll talk about, I would say, and I'll also put this one of my top favorites of this year. I also would put that, you know, and that is of The Pope's Exorcist. I recently got this DVD because well, you know, because I finally managed to pick it up, you know, but I really like this film, The Pope's Exorcist. Now, granted, well, I would say was it scary or creepy? No, it wasn't, but there was more aspects that I liked it more than negatives. So I would say, yeah, this would be one of the best. I would put this as my top list of my favorites of this year, you know. And Russell Crowe, he's what made the film work. Yeah, you can say people can make fun of his Italian accent though, but I liked it. It's like with Steven Seagal in Alfred Justice, people can make fun of his Brooklyn accent, you know, because Italian also, but also Italian/Brooklyn accent, but. I like that with that film in Alfred Justice for Steven Seagal, but I think Russell Crowe, I think he did a really good job. He plays I guess it's based on the actual files of Father Gabriel Amarth, which that's who he plays as. I don't know about that though, but if it's the real if he plays the real Father Gabriel Amarth, I guess there has to be some truth to it. So, but and it's directed by Julius Avery, Avery, mispronounced the name, but is the same director who actually directed Overlord. No, not the anime series Overlord, the movie that starred Wyatt Russell. Kurt Russell's son, and about like the Nazi zombies in a way. Overlord, the World War II zombie film, Overlord, that J.J. Abrams produced. I like Overlord, but I also think he also directed Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone. It was that so-called superhero. It was a superhero film that Stallone did. I was like, I wasn't really overall not a fan of that movie, but I do like Overlord though. I think he did a good job with this film. Now I would say I would put Overlord above this though. I would, but I'll probably put it as the second for this director. But the film came out, of course, it came out in April. That's what it was, like almost midway through the year, April. But of course, it was overshadowed by the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which another film I liked this year. And also, they also kept open the same weekend of another film I like this year that with Renfield. They'll open the same weekend as this. Another kind of like a horror type movie, but it was more of an action comedy more than horror though. I enjoyed Redfield. I thought Nicholas Hoult did a good job. Nicolas Cage, he was a lot of fun as Dracula. Like, you could tell he was having fun in Dracula. The only problem with that film I had was Awkwafina. Fuck Awkwafina. Sorry, but I never thought she was funny at all. I never think she was funny in any movie she stars in. But that was the only issue I had with the film. But overall, I liked Renfield. I reviewed it earlier this month. You can check that out. So check out my review of Renfield. I'll explain why. But overall, I enjoyed the film. I think it's kind of like to say the best horror film I've seen this year. And also, while it was a little bit lacking in the horror aspect, though, it was more like an action movie, more like, which I did not mind at all, because I'm always a sucker for action movies. So, okay, make it like an action film with a pope dealing with demons. Okay, which that kind of also reminded me, like in the ending of Exorcist: The Beginning. You know, it was two films, like with Exorcist: The Beginning and then Dominion, prequel to Exorcist. But with the ending of the Exorcist Beginning, the one that Rennie Harlan directed, it became more of the finale and was more of like an action aspect of it. But which I was overall not minding on that part. And it also was more like a buddy cop movie, which that was kind of a little bit different for my liking. What do I mean by that? Because there's this younger priest. I want to get the guy's name, because I thought the guy who played the younger priest that was tagging along with Russell Crowe, I thought he was decent as well. There was a Daniel Zovatto. We probably can see him right there next to Russell Crowe right there. I thought he was decent as well, because like I said, it was like more of a buddy cop. Came like more like a buddy cop movie. You know, these two priests, working together, trying to fight like an action film with two buddy cops fighting the bad guys, right? Kind of like the same thing in this, with these two guys here, and that made it kind of look at a little bit of difference that I've seen in a more of a demon Exorcist type movie, Now, like I said, it was while it was lacking in the horror aspect, but the action, more of an action buddy cop movie, I liked, But as for like typical things we've seen in many demon movies we've seen before, is it anything different? No, but we've seen stuff like more creepiness, like I've seen more like action, like in The Conjuring, or so Deliver Us from Evil. I enjoy, like I said before, the one that Jerry Bruckheimer produced. That was more of a different, because it was actually, like I said, it was actually more from a cop's perspective. That made it a little more interesting with Eric Bana. I like The Conjuring 2. Didn't mind the first Insidious film. Exorcist Emily Rose I actually did like. Exorcist 3 I reviewed. Exorcist Believer, fuck that movie. That's one I say this one was fuckload better than Exorcist Believer, definitely, because to me there was nothing. I just reviewed that and there was nothing going on in that movie, except for the lead guy who plays the lead guy whose daughter also this. But Ellen Burstyn, her character was just an idiot. They made her look like an idiot. Not her fault, though, but they made the character like an idiot. What else much happens in that movie? Nothing. In a way, evil kind of won in a way, because one died. You see one girl getting dragged into hell. Yeah. This is much better than Exorcist Believer. Definitely. And probably better than all the recent horror films I've ranted on this year. Because I just ranted on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. My thoughts on that, though. I'm sure a lot of people share the same thoughts, though. A lot better than that movie. Definitely, I can say that. But anyway, when the film came out, that it was kind of a bit decent hit. Cost about $18 million, made worldwide, made $76 million. So it was a hit, and they're already setting up for development for a sequel as well, with Russell Crowe coming back, which is nice, because I think he did a really good job in this film. But anyway, 9 minutes in, I haven't talked about it, so okay. It takes place in, which is one thing I like, is it takes place in the 80s, like 1987 it took place in. We see Russell Crowe as Father Gabriel, which is a little fun. Which it was one thing that was fun, because that he had a lot of lines, a dialogue that I liked. Like we see, he talks with this guy who's seemingly possessed, and he's like, in a way, he's like taunting the demon. Which kind of reminded me of John Constantine with Keanu Reeves, and he said in that film, Constantine is like, "This is John Constantine, asshole." He didn't say it like that though, but he's like the way taunting the demon. What I'm saying, he's like, "Oh, you have power." I'm not going to do an accent because I'm shitty at that. So he's like, "Oh, you have a power? Okay, so you have this power. We have this pig. You're a demon. Can you possess this pig? I don't think you have that power. Can you do that? Why don't you do that, huh? So he's like taunting demons. So actually, what it does, possess the pig. One person that's with them shoots the pig. So, and I like how what Russell Crowe is doing. He's like, in a way, he's kind of like, if he was a cop, he's kind of like maybe like say like Jack Slater from Last Action Hero, right? He's kind of like a cop who does his own thing, always disobeying orders from the captain, right? Last Action Hero, Jack Slater, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? In a way, he's like a renegade cop, basically, and that's what kind of like Russell Crowe is acting like in a way, because after that, though, he goes back to the church, and the church is pissed at him. In a way, it's like, if he was a cop, he was the captain's like, give me your badge. This time you won't get it back. In a way, it's kind of like that, though, right? Except, of course, he's a priest. He doesn't have a badge to turn in. What's he going to turn in? His cross? Or his Bible? But Russell Crowe was having fun in this, he was. That's what made the film, kept going for me, because of his I'm not saying energy, though, but his enthusiasm, but he was having fun in the role. And especially a lot of times, like, or more or less like, I know a firing squad when I see one. Or when one other person is like telling him, like, oh, this is a question of theology, and Russell Crowe goes, no shit. It's funny, like, just like with Russell Crowe, he's a priest, right? But he's like saying the S word and stuff, right? Saying shit, no shit. And you see him like he's like also like we see him riding this scooter in a way. It kind of like it looks like a scooter. I'm like, okay. I'm already having fun with Russell Crowe's character. I already am. And plus, I forgot to mention, because also he's the I forgot to mention he's the Father Gabriel Moore that he plays. He's the Vatican's chief exorcist. That's why he was doing these exorcisms, because he's the Vatican's chief exorcist. So, and then we have this family, this mother with a son and daughter. They move, I guess, like this mansion. It's kind of like an abbey. I don't remember how I say it though, but they want to like redo the place, renovate it so they can sell it off. And they have people working on it, but then something collapses, and it, of course, unleashes this force, right? As typical, like, there's always something that's always like buried, but it actually gets uncovered. Say like Evil Dead Rise, where there was an earthquake and it uncovered that hidden vault where that book was. A lot better. I'm sorry, this is a lot better than Evil Dead Rise. I heard I was having some comments about Evil Dead Rise. Oh, that film was good. I'm just being parent. Let's say you can have your own opinion. If you like the Evil Dead Rise, that's fine. But I thought this was a lot more fun than Evil Dead Rise. Because you have a character like Russell Crowe who's not an idiot, like those characters like that stupid kid who goes down there. Oh, his vault is blocked off, and there's all these stuff, Oh, well, that's all these crosses. Maybe we shouldn't take this, but he takes it anyway. So, I already gave my thoughts on that though. But if you like Evil Dead Rise, it's your opinion though. But in my opinion, to me, it's overrated. It sucks. To me, it sucks. That film had no creativity or originality at all. But anyway, but then that's when stuff starts happening. Mostly when the son gets possessed. They try to have a priest to go there, but throws the priest back and goes and says, "Wrong fucking priest." And then that's when we have, Russell Crowe gets partnered up with this younger priest, who was Daniel of Zovatto, Father Esquibble, who knows things about Father Gabriel, and he's like, oh, I know your stuff. And Russell Crowe goes, oh, you read the books? It's like, oh no. Well, he's like, okay, well, you should read it. It's good. So So this is when they're investigating. That they go there and investigating. You know, right here, the wall, and you get some good. And because what I mentioned, when the workers before they uncovered when the workers work at the house and then where it was uncovered, there was like this explosion. Now, what I saw for the most part looked like it was practical, which was kind of nice to see because freaking, you know, nowadays it's now just CGI fires nowadays. But if it was, for what I saw though, maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me, was it looked like it was a good actual fiery explosion done practical. At least I'll give it that because, you know, CGI fires takes it out of it for me. And then, or another instance where Russell Crowe's looking at this well, and all of a sudden fire just starts shooting out of it, and this big ball of fire comes out. Now, it had to be, of course, I had to think it had to have been CGI though, but the whole aspect, the whole aspect, you know, if it was a good scene, I can like let that slide, you know, I can give leeway at that. Like the whole thing, it just this whole fire just comes out of this well, there's a big ball of fire. If it was a good scene, I can just let that slide though. But it has, like I said, it has to grab me in, you know. So yeah, those are that one scene right there, and then that's where this is where they pretty much discover like kind of like this though, this entryway here, where it has all these skeletons and stuff like that, right? And one thing leading to another, you know, because we found out that it was like leading to like, you know, like dealing with the Spanish Inquisition, you know, how it kind of like changes. It's not the way how it was like how it led to was that we know, right? But actually, it was like more of a darker secret behind it, because during like the time of the Spanish Inquisition, like this one leader guy who gets possessed and ultimately leads like into the Spanish Inquisition, but much more of a darker purpose. Like they think they're doing for God, right? But it was actually doing for evil. So like the Vatican, the church, higher ups, they know about this, but they were keeping it very quiet, you know, about it, keeping it as a secret, because they want to believe that, you know, other people think this is it was all done in the name of God, though, but actually it was done more for evil, because like even I guess the demon, okay, another different thing is it can possess like two people at one time, or I don't know about the rest of the people though, but I know it can do like it was like one or two people that it can possess at one time though. Although the funny thing is that although if that demon can do that though, but why couldn't they just like do like to both our characters here though? But okay, at least. And also the thing is though, like when or when he's talking like I think he was like talking to the demon. You know, like even with both the Russell Crowe and Daniel Vivato, like they're trying to make me see like what their nightmares is, like your inner demons, right? And Russell Crowe goes and says, "You know what my nightmare is? It's France winning the World Cup. That's my nightmare." I like just how he's just being like a kind of in a way being a smart ass to the demon, you know, which I like that, you know. It's like, yeah, it just made me laugh, you know. It's like, you know, my worst nightmare is France winning the World Cup. I had to get a chuckle out of that because that was pretty funny. It just shows that, yeah, Russell Crowe, he's serious though, but he's like, you know, way taunting the demon, you know, in some ways like that. Because I mentioned about the two demon possessed people, because it not only possesses the son though, but also possessing the daughter as well. And what am I next? In this way, where there were one instance where it was kind of like possessing Russell Crowe, but you know, it was trying kind of like fighting it, or where it was trying to make him hang himself, but the demon won't let him. Because actually, there was another different thing. This demon, because you know, in typical demon possession films, what is their objective? You know, to scare people and ruin people's lives, right? Actually, this demon does have a bit of a goal, a mission to do, because he wouldn't let Russell Crowe die though, because he needs him to go undercover. Was it to the church or the Vatican? for what it was though. But it was like that way because he needs him to go undercover for him, you know. In a way, that's kind of like a different take of what a demon can do, you know, because usually in films, like, okay, if they're just here to possess a person, you know, to terrorize a family, you know, usually it's something that's like the most typical thing you do. But here, the demon is actually has a goal to do, right? He has his own mission, which that kind of made, and because also to start a war as well, because that also kind of led me to like a, you know, leading to a war. It was like in a way it was like in both those Exorcist prequel movies, right? Beginning and Dominion. Yeah, it was two different movies, but it was kind of almost like the same. Like the ending, was kind of leading to that though. Like in Exorcist, the beginning, you know, the ending of that where two groups of people are fighting each other. You get some decent gore though, like bones are breaking and stuff like that though. It was kind of leading into that aspect, you know, a war with people, right? But so it kind of took a little bit. I think it kind of took a little bit from that though, but. Okay. And then it was like when he later he was telling the young priest again, Esquabble. He's also telling another tales like, I remember this one time. Once I had a demon try to put a crucifix in my eyeball, and it's like, no, I don't want to hear that no more. Or another kind of a cool visual couple. You also get a nice couple of cool visual aspects where Russell Crowe is standing still, right? When the camera turns like all in circles, like it's like the whole room is spinning while he's standing still. That was kind of a nice visual touch. Or another point when the guy was possessed, right? You know, the son, and Russell Crowe's like, you know, can you follow this? You know, right? And you see like the eyes, right? The pupil split in two. Like one pupil is standing still while the other pupil in the same eye is following like what Russell Crowe's like, can you follow this? I'm like, okay, that's like kind of a nice cool little visual aspect right there where two pupil splits in two while one stays put and one is like moving the other way back and forth, right? That was kind of a little bit a nice little visual touch on that. So like I said, while Russell Crowe's standing still while the rest of the room is spinning around, or when the camera is turning in circling, you know. So you get a couple of nice visual stuff like that. And then it kind of leads, like I said, it becomes more like an action movie, you know, which which I actually did like, you know, and like how try and face like the young priest as a squibble, where he's making his face his inner where he's facing his inner demons, and Russell Crowe is telling him, like, hey, use this, you know, like. I don't know if it was the young priest that gave Russell Crowe, or was it? Yes, in a way, like an action film, like how he would toss a gun in an action film to one person to another, right? And I think it was the young priest who tosses the cross to Russell Crowe, just like in an action film if a buddy cop tossing the gun to his partner, right? In a way. But I was going back to the young priest with his inner demons, like he uses like the cross, I guess, against himself, I think, and it makes his inner demon like inside it is like explode. In a very gory fashion. I'm like, oh, you know, I was like, that was something. Okay, I didn't expect that to happen. Okay, that was pretty cool. And then, like I said, tossing the gun like it's a buddy cop action film. Like instead of a gun, it's a cross, and Russell Crowe using it, and then lead to one thing to another when they're both running away, and then a fiery explosion, just like we see in a buddy cop action film, right? Like Rush Hour, when they were in that restaurant and the kitchen is going to explode, it explodes right behind them. In a way like that, right? It's kind of like you see in a buddy cop movie. And they're running for the explosion, it explodes behind them, they fall. And then afterwards, Russell goes and tells the young priest, oh, he's like, you know, you look like shit. Now, like I said, Russell Crowe, he nailed it as Father Gabriel. I like a lot of his lines of dialogue. You know, like I would say witty. I wouldn't say witty though, but it's like in a way sarcastically. But I enjoyed it. And I forgot to mention the Pope in this film is actually played by Franco Nero. Franco Nero, Django himself. No, not Django Unchained, the Jamie Foxx. But. It was like the same name, Django, years before Django Unchained came out. Franco Nero, he was Django from the old spaghetti western movies. And also, I also remember Franco Nero from. I also remember well knownly as General Esperanza from Die Hard 2. You know, for the bad guy, William Sadler wanted, to help him escape from, and General and John McClane, tells like, he's like when after Franco Nero lands the plane, it's like freedom, and then John McClane goes and punches him and goes, not yet, and he's like, supposed to sing his seat till the plane reaches the terminal. No freak could fly all these miles for you. Who are you? A cop. Cop. Yeah, one of the good guys. You see, you're one of the bad guys, and I got your sorry ass when I trade you for my wife. And then goes and shoots him, and shoots Franco Nero in the arm. Sit down. Yeah, that's Franco Nero as General Esperanza from Die Hard 2. Yeah, but he's known for playing Django from the Spaghetti Westerns Django before the movie Django Unchained, which he had a cameo in that film as well, though. And also Franco Nero, he was also in John Wick Chapter 2. Sorry, my phone was vibrating. I was getting a call, so I had to stop there to answer the call. So sorry about that. But anyway, Franco Nero, he was also in John Wick Chapter 2. He was he owned the Continental back in Italy when John Wick was in Italy. To kill what was the guy's name? His sister, right? And after he fights with Common, they're in the Continental in Italy, right? And Franco Nero, he's the guy who runs the Italian Continental. And he's like, gentlemen, we not to conduct business on Continental grounds. How about a visit to the bar? Yeah, so that's Franco Nero. So I was like, okay, it's cool to see him in John Wick Chapter 2. So yeah, Django, Die Hard 2, his role in John Wick Chapter 2. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to see Franco Nero, and he plays as the Pope in this. So, but overall, yeah, I really enjoyed the Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe, he was the one that shined he's the star that shined throughout this whole movie. Like I said, I liked a lot of his lines of dialogue. Like being sarcastic, taunting the demon, and I think the young guy who plays the young priest, Esquibel, Daniel Zovatto, I thought he did pretty decently. It was cool to see Franco Nero in this film as well as the Pope, and the whole thing with the whole demon's objective was kind of a bit different what we see from typical demons we see in other films. But yeah, although like I said, it was not scary or creepy or anything. I saw that though, but I saw this more of like an action. It was more of like an action buddy cop movie, and that to me that was like a bit different what I've seen in other like films like these. For a demon film or like a priest church whatever films. A lot better than Exorcist Believer. Definitely, I can say that. Better for horror films I've seen, because this year has been a shitty year for horror films. It has been. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I know that was shit. Exorcist Believer is shit. Beau is Afraid, that was overrated shit. Talk to Me, I did not like either. I think that's another A24 film that's overrated. Meg 2, I was 50-50 on because the first half was so boring. But it was only the third half was able to save me from not calling it a rant, though, but barely. But I still think the first one was better, though, but it was overall... I didn't hate it, though, but just, barely hated it. Renfield I liked, though. The only thing that kept me from loving the movie was Awkwafina. What else? What other horror films? I know there's other ones I reviewed. Beau is Afraid. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I mentioned Evil Dead Rise. Skinamarink. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Skinamarink. Megan. Yeah, that's another one that came out earlier this year. Yeah, it's been a very shitty year for horror films. To me, overall, Renfield and this film... Well, Renfield is more like an action comedy film as well, but... Yeah, but this... I gotta say, probably say this is the best horror film, even though it is... To me, I probably saw... lacking in horror though. But yes, on the level like this, yes, I could say is probably the best horror film I've seen this year. But Russell Crowe, he did a really good job. The younger priest, Danny Zovatto, was good. Franco Nero was cool to see. The Julius Avery did a good job directing the film. I still think I would still put Overlord above this though. Music by Jed Kurzel was fine, I guess. Tolerable, average. But a lot of the aspects I liked, was like it was more of like a buddy cop action film, and that would make it kind of a bit different for me, And I like a lot of Russell Crowe's dialogue. Just like just made me laugh. It's like, my nightmare is France winning the World Cup. Oh, this is a question of theology. No shit. Or telling the, you look like shit at the end, when he says it at the end of the movie. Yeah, so Russell Crowe, he did a really good job in this. So yeah, The Pope's Exorcist. Yeah, if I want to say what another film, a film that came out this year I rant on, this is definitely not one of them. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely put this in my top list this year because overall I don't have 10 films I like this year. So because this year it's been very shitty. I mean, I like Super Mario Brothers, which I mentioned. Super Mario Brothers, this film. I actually like, so to my own surprise, I actually like Creed 3. To my own surprise, because I did not like the first two. But that's more a different thing. But yeah. Yeah, it's flawed. It's flawed though because it was not creepy or scary at all though. And yeah, you say it goes to the typical things we see in possession films though, but I thought the demons, like his overall objective, his mission, I thought was different from what I've seen other demons in movies like these. So yeah, I liked The Pope's Exorcist. I'd give this a thumbs up. I would. Russell Crowe, he was the star of the film, and he did a really good job. And he was all times he made me laugh. It was funny. But although he was serious at the same time, like how when I've read another part where I'm seeing I have to mention where when the mom was being pulled into the bed and he really goes and tries and saves the mom, rushing into trying to help pull her out. So he has his moments of being serious as well too. So, but yeah. Overall, I enjoy The Pope's Exorcist. I thought I was not gonna like it because we've seen in hundreds of demon / possession movies, right? Or / exorcist type movies. But overall, yeah, I liked it. So I definitely give this a thumbs up. I would probably say the best horror film I've seen this year. So, anyway, I gotta go because I'm gonna get another call. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't seen Pope's Exorcist, I recommend you check it out. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Later.